Hey everybody, welcome to the HooperCast, episode 180. It looks like 180. As some of you can see, actually probably not because I'm not going to put this video portion up. I'm here with my daughter Amelia. Hi Amelia.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
You had a good day today, didn't you? Yeah, you good behavior, good bath time, good dinner. What'd you get for dessert tonight?
M&M's.
You got M&Ms? How many?
3.
3 M&Ms. Wow, you must have been good today.
That's why I've been good a lot.
You sure have been. If the listeners want to be good, they can go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to this show, which would be great because then when this video hits YouTube, people could get a notification on their phones or computers or email that we have posted a video, in fact. So do that. And also this episode and others like it are also on iTunes. Where's my thing? Where's my thing? Where's my thing that has all my stuff? Which one of these is my...
What's this trash doing here?
Oh, kiddo, we shouldn't go down that road. It's just... It's my trash. Yeah, it happens. Oh, it is this one. Okay. I thought maybe it wasn't this one. Good Lord. I'm discombobulated, you guys. There's some links to the show, to where to find it. There's iTunes, chiefly Spotify, Stitcher, RadioPublic, a bunch of places, and a bunch of places to find us. Where to go? On the internet, which I'm having trouble locating.
Where's Dustin?
Currently.
Where's Dustin?
Dustin, that's a good question, Amelia. What good questions you have. Dustin could not be here tonight. He's busy, so those are all the places you can find the show. Sit down, Boo. So he sends his regards. Tonight, we're going to talk about...
Transformers.
Yes, we are going to talk about Transformers. I was hoping you wouldn't really...
Daddy, Transformers.
Uh-huh. That's the slideshow. Are you ready to talk about Transformers?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to get right into our critique tonight. That's right. So everyone, we'd like to introduce you to Transformers Prime. That's what we're talking about tonight. This is a show that is 3 seasons long. It ran on like I forgot the channel already. But it's 3 seasons long, although I think in the 3rd season it got rebranded as Transformers Beast Hunters or something. But the first season of this is on Netflix, and Amelia and I watched it, and we wanted just to talk about it a little bit. This is, I think, 24 or so episodes of a great television show. Amelia, you liked this show, right?
Yes.
See, because when we first started...
Bumblebee.
That's Bumblebee. So when we first started watching this show...
Yeah. They're good.
It was, we weren't sure what it was going to be like. You just figured you'd like...
That's my left hand.
That's your right hand.
I got my right hand.
Let's stay focused, kiddo. They want to hear about Transformers.
Okay.
So, anyways, what's cool about this show is that my daughter, who has had no previous experience or exposure to the Transformers, was really into the show. I mean, you loved this show, right? Mm-hmm. You were invested in the action. You liked the characters. Huh? Who's your favorite character in the show? Everybody. Okay, I know. Okay, who's your favorite human character? Miko, the little girl Miko. Okay, who's your favorite Decepticon? The purple one. Soundwave. Uh-huh. Okay, who's your favorite Autobot? Who's your favorite good guy robot? Bumblebee. Okay, who's your second favorite? RC. Okay. What about your third favorite? Mom? She's not an Autobot. She's one of the humans.
Oh.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Autobot? Well, you already told me. Okay. So as you guys can see, there's lots of characters to like on this show. The one you're looking at there is RC in the garage with one of the human characters, Jack. So as always with the Transformers, there's a human element to the show.
Talk with some more characters.
You want to talk about some more characters? Mm-hmm. So we've got
Unicron.
there's Unicron. We're all over the place right now, you guys, but we're just following the slideshow here. Of course, you've got Optimus Prime, voiced by Peter Cullen. You've got Bumblebee. You have RC. You have Wheeljack. You have Jack the boy, but you also have Wheeljack the Autobot. Yeah. There's Miko. There's
RC.
What's his name? Bulkhead. Yeah, there's Bulkhead.
RC.
RC.
Optimus.
There's Optimus Prime. Yeah, lots of great characters here. So the premise is the Autobots, of course, are on Earth because they're hunting
bad guys.
Yes, there's the Decepticons because they're hunting Energon, and the Decepticons show up because there might be dark Energon on Earth, which.
Miko and Starscream.
That's right. That's Starscream. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, that's Starscream and Miko. And of course, who's that?
Energon and Starscream.
No, who is that talking to Starscream?
Energon.
Megatron. That's correct. So there's all that's really, and you've also got
with an M.
Yes, you've got Soundwave, you got Shockwave. I forgot the doctor's name on the Decepticon side, but and then of course
Bumblebee.
Yes, all right. Let's stop naming the characters. We've gone through all the characters, and of course, as we pointed out earlier, you eventually have the emergence of Unicron as a villain. So the show is great. If you're a Transformers fan, you should definitely check this show out. I think the character designs are really faithful to the original G1 designs. There's a little bit here that's maybe inspired by the Michael Bay stuff because this is in 2010. Yeah, that's a Arachnid. And there's Agent Fowler. And the designs are a little bit Michael Bay-ish because of this is in the heart. This is right after Revenge of the Fallen came out. The Transformers movie franchise was still very much alive and well while the show was going on. But of course you have the emergence of the Predacons at a certain extent on the show. Although we only watched the first season because only the first season, you guys, is on Netflix. I do not know where the other two seasons are. You can get them on DVD on Amazon. You just buy them online, or you can pay for each episode $2 each. Considering how great the first season is, I'm wagering it's worth it. Like I said, my daughter, who's had no experience with the Transformers before, loved this show. We actually just watched the first episode again tonight before we started the podcast because we love the show and we're going to watch the whole first season through again. I think the writing is really good, right? I think the writing's really good. I think the action's really good. I mean, are the stories fun? Do you think they're interesting?
Yeah, they're all interesting.
They're all interesting. Let's keep your shirt over here. But I think that there's really great action set pieces. The animation, it's on a budget, but the character designs are all really good. I think particularly the animation of the faces is really good. Whenever they're grimacing or making faces, you can really tell what they're feeling.
Face so good.
Your face is great. And I really love the writing. I was very impressed with the writing on this show, where sometimes, shows can tend to get lazy when it's a kid's show because they just think kids don't notice stuff. But I'm telling you, kids notice good writing and kids notice characters. And there's a reason that my 4-year-old daughter is hooked on this show now. And it's because of the writing and the character work. I'm going to give Transformers Prime a five stars. I think it's a 5-star show. I think everyone would like this show. And I think if you have kids, definitely watch this show. Do you think other kids would like this show?
Yes.
You do? Do you think grown-ups would like this show?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Do you think grandparents would like the show? Really? Okay, wow. Look at that. It's a great show. So if you have a Netflix account, check it out. What we've been doing is we watched one every night before bed. So it was really nice for a few weeks just to sit down and watch the next episode of this show. I really enjoyed it. My daughter really enjoyed it. And I think other people will really enjoy it. So Transformers Prime, 5 stars. I cannot recommend it highly enough. Great, great, great show, especially because Peter Cullen is awesome. Amelia, I have a little surprise for you. I wanted to show you something tonight.
Surprise.
Okay, this is where we need the earbuds, okay? I'm going to show you something. It's called a trailer, okay?
Okay.
They actually made another Transformers movie. Do you recognize that person? Who's that?
That's Bumblebee.
That's Bumblebee. All right, why don't we watch this? And I'm going to show you, this is a Bumblebee movie, okay? Wow. The new trailer came out the other day. Do you know what a trailer is?
What?
A trailer is when they've made a movie and they're going to show you a little bit of the movie to get you excited for the movie so that you come see it.
Why does he talk?
Huh? Why don't we watch and find out if he talks? Maybe he doesn't. Do you want to see the trailer?
Oh, no. Want to see it on the computer?
Yes. Put your headphones in so you can hear it, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's watch the trailer for Bumblebee, the new Transformers saga film.
I'm Charlie Watson. I'm 18. Today, actually. Is the Beetle for sale?
It's yours, kid. Happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. What are you?
So you have no idea where he came from?
No idea.
Well,
Here's the deal. People can be terrible about things they don't understand. From now on, the only person you can show yourself around is me. Oh, I'm good. No, I'm good, thanks.
there's a war raging on our planet. If this criminal isn't found, that war may find its way here.
Is there anyone that can help you? Do you have a family? Oh, who, me?
They're calling an army.
I've seen firsthand these things really are.
Bumblebee, there is only one way to end this war. You must protect Earth and its people.
Take it down!
My back, me! This is how we stop them. You've got me. And I'm not going anywhere. God, I'm so screwed.
What'd you think of that?
Good.
You liked it?
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell what was going on? Could you see what was going on?
His face turned yellow and he tried to shoot people.
Okay. Yeah, he tried to shoot people. I think those were bad guys that he was shooting at. They were trying to hurt him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a movie that's coming out in a couple of months in December. So does that look like fun to you? Or does it look boring? What do you think? It's not a cartoon, so it's a little bit different. Do you think it looks fun?
Yeah.
Yeah? You think it looks fun?
Excuse me.
Okay, well now that you got that out of your system, now will you answer my question?
Yes.
Okay, how does the movie look to you? Does it look fun or does it look not fun?
Fun.
It does look fun? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll get to see it one day. Would you like that? Do you want to go see a movie about Bumblebee?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you see any other characters in there that you recognized?
No.
No. Okay. It was a little bit quick, but there's a lot of them. Do you want me to show you some? Okay. Here, let me show you some of these. See if we can pick any out, okay?
The camera.
Uh-oh. Let's see. In the background, I think that's Starscream in the background. That's Soundwave or Shockwave. That's Starscream. Yeah, there's Shockwave or Soundwave.
Soundwave.
Yep. There's Ravage.
Ravage.
You've never met Ravage.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
There is the trees.
Yeah. Okay, new recording. Come on, start this thing back up.
Yeah.
Rolling on that. Okay, weird. Okay, so, and then, of course, who's that? Who does he look like to you?
I think it's Ratchet.
It's not Ratchet.
Optimus.
That's Optimus Prime. He's sending Bumblebee a message. Anyways, I think that this looks really good. A lot of people online are saying the same thing. They're saying that they are really impressed with the designs of the robots. They look a lot more like the G1 designs than the Michael Bay films did. This looks a lot more kid-friendly than the Michael Bay films are, which were kind of... Why?
Yeah, why?
Because the Michael Bay films they had some inappropriate humor in them. They had casting decisions that were just strange. They were just sort of filled with scantily clad women and cars and a lot of style, but not that much substance. And the animation of the robots and their transformations was overly complex. So what's good about this is they seem to simplify the way that the transforming is animated, and they seem to have stuck more to the original designs for the Transformers themselves, which is good because then you can actually tell what's going on during a fight scene. So I thought that the trailer looked really good, and it really makes me excited to see the movie. Whereas I haven't seen the Transformers in theaters since.
Just watch if Bumblebee is just the right thing in the season.
I think it will be the right thing in this season. I think that Bumblebee is going to be. It seems like it's hitting its tone perfectly, and that it's going to get a lot of people and kids and into the theaters. I think so. I think it'll be real good. All right, we're going to say goodnight to Amelia because I just wanted to show you some Transformers before you went to bed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's bedtime. All right. Come here. Good night.
Night.
Thanks for coming on the show. I love you. Good night, kiddo. I'm going to do the rest of the show, but it's not about Transformers. I'm going to talk about boring stuff now. Okay. Good night, humbug. Don't make too much noise for your brother, okay? Make sure you lock the bottom of the gate, all right? All right. Love you, humbug. Love you. Love you. I love you, baby. All right. Good night, sweetie. I tell you what, no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody tells you about like the burden of having children financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is, moments like that are what are enriching about being a parent, I have to say. It was a supreme but welcome surprise that Amelia enjoyed Transformers Prime as much as she did. And it's not, I didn't expect it, not because she's a girl or anything like that. I just didn't expect it because I just don't expect people to have my same interests. And I knew that it was a trap for parents to hope too much that their children will be interested in the same things that they are. The same music, the same movies, the same sports, all that kind of stuff. And I knew that it was a trap to expect anything like that. But I gotta say, it was a welcome, really, really nice surprise that she likes the characters that much. And again, speaks to the quality of Transformers Prime for sure. Okay. Another trailer came out recently. I think this one actually came out today. Yeah, this one came out today. So obviously, a few years ago, you had the movie Creed starring Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone, directed by Ryan Coogler. And this, and which was a really great film that I liked, and lots of people liked, lots of critics, audiences loved it. So of course there's a trailer. Of course, Michael B. Jordan playing Adonis Creed, the son, the illegitimate child, but nevertheless blood child of Apollo Creed, sort of preordained somehow to be a boxer, and does a really good job at it, comes out a champion. So now we've got Creed 2. I don't even know what the story's about. I have not seen this trailer, so I'm going to be watching it just as you are, So let's just take a look at the trailer for Creed 2.
If we don't do what we love, then we wouldn't exist.
It's time, kid.
Rocky.
It's like nothing really matters to him right now, including me.
You gotta think real hard about this. You got people that need you now.
I'm taking the fight.
Victor Drago, son of Ivan Drago, who infamously killed Apollo Creed, appeared today to issue a challenge to Adonis Creed.
Don't do this.
I ain't got a choice.
That's the same thing your father said, and he died right here in my hands. That kid was raised in hate. It's dangerous. He broke things in me that ain't never been fixed. It ain't worth it.
It's not just us anymore, Dave.
I want to rewrite history.
If you want to fight this man, that's your business. But don't pretend this is about your father.
This here is all about my wife, my kids, the life that I live. Through the night, I was his. It was right what I did. My ups and downs, my slips, my falls, my trials and tribulations, my heart, my walls.
This won't be the end of me. Or you. It can't be, because we're a team.
Now you know what you're fighting for.
Round after round, you learn more about yourself. And when I stepped in that ring, it wasn't all about me.
Oh man, I love it. Oh, that looks so good. Oh man. Thanksgiving. I cannot wait. Of course I will wait because I do not have the money to see this film. However, woo! So as you can see there, a few things are different from the last one, although not too many things different. So story by and co-written by Sylvester Stallone. Not directed though by Ryan Coogler, not even produced by Ryan Coogler, which doesn't have to mean anything if you don't want it to. Ryan Coogler has other shit to do. It's fine. Ryan Coogler, for all we know, might be retained by Marvel right now for consultation on Black Panther and other Wakanda related things. Who knows what Ryan Coogler's up to? I could look at his IMDb right now and tell you what he's up to, but I will not. So there you go. It doesn't matter who directed it. I mean, obviously, I love Ryan Coogler's film, Creed. This trailer looks great. And you can't cut a trailer like that together like that without expressly shooting it in such a way. A lot of those match cuts from one room to the next, that's not some trailer house stitching together crappy footage from a film. That's cinematography at work. This film looks fantastic. I love the cinematography. I don't know if I can let's see if I can thread the needle here. Okay, it doesn't say. It just says all the last stuff, the producers and directors, studio and all that. Wow. This looks great. Yeah, it's weird because people are saying, I think because I'd seen the first teaser and I'm now remembering story elements that I just said I didn't know, but I remember now. That the story being that he's up against the son of Ivan Drago. I think it was, of course, you remember Rocky 4 was where Dolph Lundgren's Ivan Drago was introduced. He's, the big Russian opponent to Rocky Balboa. A big Soviet era, U.S. versus Russia story. But Ivan Drago, of course, even more infamous because he is responsible for the death of Apollo Creed. He killed him in the ring. He hit him so hard that he died. Repeatedly, not just, but that's where Apollo Creed died. If you've never seen the Rocky movies, in which case you're probably not interested in this. But that is who Ivan Drago is. So some people could say, oh, well, this is kind of stupid. They're just sort of following the story arc of Rocky Balboa, except with Adonis Creed. Okay, so he went from nothing and now he's a champion. Okay, well, now he's a champion, he's going to fight the Russian guy. But you forget, and they say it right there in the trailer, like it's not really a cheat if it makes sense in character. So not only would it make sense for Adonis to be fighting people like this Drago kid, but it also makes sense from a character standpoint for him to have to face that. This is the son of the guy who killed his dad. And whether or not he really meant to kill Apollo Creed, I think maybe in the film, in Rocky IV, they definitely portray it as maybe not so much that he like set out to murder him, but he certainly wasn't sorry or remorseful about it. And the fact that so much of his emotional baggage has to do with growing up without his dad and not even people knowing, maybe, did he even, I can't remember now if he even knew that his dad was Apollo Creed. Anyways, like there's so much character stuff going on just based on the fact that Apollo was killed by Ivan Drago. So to have Rocky Balboa and the son of Apollo Creed in this film with Ivan Drago is really, really interesting story-wise. So look, it looks great. Michael B. Jordan looks great. I love him. He's such a talent. He's really hitting his stride right now. I mean, I've liked Michael B. Jordan. What was the first thing I saw that guy in? Might have been, what was the one? It might have been Chronicle, and definitely Friday Night Lights. Loved him in Friday Night Lights. And then here and there, I'd see him in things. Then of course now everyone knows his name from Black Panther and this, and maybe a little bit of the Fantastic Four. I mean, he's blown up right now, and he deserves it. So this looks great. Stallone looks great. Phylicia Rashad looks great. Tessa Thompson looks great. Even Dolph Lundgren, who's barely in the trailer, but just already his screen presence is palpable. It looks fantastic. Creed 2 looks amazing. I can't wait till I can see it. It looks great. Good stuff. Okay, next story to talk about is a story off of comicbook.com. Will Smith confirming meetings about Suicide Squad spin-off Deadshot movie. If you recall, in Suicide Squad a couple years ago, Will Smith was actually good, was one of the highlights of the film as Deadshot. And according to something he said, off the cuff here, that they've been having meetings about a solo film. The article said, who wrote the article? Patrick Cavanaugh. Ooh, careful, buddy. Got a hot button name there. According to Suicide Squad star Will Smith, he'd love to explore his Deadshot character in his own spin-off adventure, and meetings about such a film have taken place. While fielding questions from fans on his YouTube channel, Smith responded to the possibility of a Deadshot movie. Quote, "I hope so. I love playing Deadshot. I really enjoyed that character. They've been talking about it, so if a good idea comes around, we've been having meetings, but I would love to. I love Deadshot." Article goes on to say the rumors go back to December 2006. And it goes into, financial critical stuff about the DC movies, which are well chronicled on this show. Confirmed upcoming films for the DCEU seem to be leaning more into the adventurous spirit of the franchise, with Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman 1984 all having confirmed there will be plenty of humor and excitement to balance out the heavier themes. Well, there goes the stupid recording again. Why is it freezing? I'm just going to leave it. It can shake itself out. I don't give a damn. I'm so over this damn thing. All right, so there's probably ended up being no video on this podcast, but that's fine. I don't give a shit anymore. Right. So, then they go into talking about the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix and all that stuff. Oh, which we didn't even talk about. Oh, well. So I liked Will Smith. I always like Will Smith. He's a very likable presence on a movie screen. I initially, my first impulse was to respond positively to this news, because I thought, well, fine. He was one of the parts of Suicide Squad that I actually cared about. So that's all fine. The Deadshot role in Suicide Squad was not really a role, one of those roles that Will Smith actually threw himself into and became a different person. It was just one of the majority of his roles where he's just playing Will Smith, but Will Smith is likable. Will Smith has broad appeal, so everyone is fine with Will Smith. But I still thought, well, this is fine. In terms of films that I would prefer to see in theaters and films I would rather not see in theaters, this was among the films where I thought, okay, I'm fine with seeing this in theaters because this, I like Will Smith. So I asked Dustin what he thought. Dustin's, y'all ready for this? Deadshot is a B-tier Batman villain. He does not deserve his own movie, no matter the star power of the actor playing him. So Dustin, of course, is closer to the source material than I am. He does have a point, like I just said. I mean, it doesn't really matter who plays the character. If the character themselves is not compelling enough to be a lead, then you're sort of sunk. So in true Warner Brothers DC fashion, DC doesn't care because Will Smith, as I just said, is bankable, puts asses in seats. He sells movie tickets and people go to the theater to see Will Smith. So this could be a this could be a Howard the Duck film starring Will Smith. Doesn't matter. People are coming to the theaters to see this film. So it's happening. So if you like Will Smith, good. But if you, oh, great. Now it's freezing again. Fan-damn-tastic. I freaking give up, dude. I freaking give up. Whatever. It'll be a film. You're either going to like it or you won't. Another spinoff that's happening. The other appealing character from Suicide Squad. We've got Harley Quinn from played by Margo Robbie. This is on Maxim.com. Margo Robbie. This is written by Zeynep Yanissi. Good Lord. Margo Robbie's Harley Quinn spinoff Birds of Prey set for 2020 release date. There's Margo Robbie. This was announced on Monday. Details of the plot are still under wraps, but what we do know is that the movie will focus on Harley Quinn as she pulls together a team of superheroes, including Huntress, Renee Montoya, and Black Canary and Cassandra Cain, to go up against a villain who still remains unnamed. It will be R-rated. No other casting news. Hollywood Reporter is reporting Gugu Mbatha Raw, Janae Smollett-Bell, and Janelle Monáe are some of the people being considered to play Black Canary. And for Huntress, they're looking at Margaret Qualley, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Kristen Milotti. Going to be directed by Kathy Yan, written by Christina Hodson, of course, a couple women there, and then an all-female cast, or female-centric, I'll say. But lower budget than other DC films because these are all street level characters. That's why. Margo Robbie told Collider it was crucial for the film to have a female director to tell that story, and it's important to give a woman the chance to do big budget stuff. Okay, Birds of Prey. Okay, so a couple things about this. Just to address that thing she said, it's important to give a woman the chance to have a big budget. Well, Patty Jenkins already had that, and she made Wonder Woman. So it's not like this is that women have never been given a chance to helm a big budget feature. So just fact checking you there a little bit, Margo Robbie. Second of all, no, it's not vital or crucial to have a female director tell a story. The story is the story. Maybe a female to write the story, but the story is the story. It doesn't matter if a man writes it or a woman writes it or someone non-binary writes it. It's just the story is the story. If it's a good story, it's a good story. If it's a bad story, it's a bad story. It shouldn't matter if it's written by a man or a woman. That is true equality. It is not about women's scripts over men's scripts, or definitely vice versa. It's just about what's the best script. Now, I will say this. You're more likely to have better written female characters if the film is written by a female, because I think we've seen through several decades that most male screenwriters tend to have a problem writing women, because I'll just tell you this, like just age-old adage here, men have a hard time understanding women, our spouses, our friends, our family members. So before you get to you bark up my tree about being like a men's rights, this or that, I will point out I fully recognize that if I'm writing a script and I have a female character, I'm running it through several women before I move forward with the character as written, because I do not presume to know what women are thinking, what women are feeling, and or what women are doing, because I am clueless. Not clueless. Well, I am clueless because I'm a guy, but that's part of male nature, is being clueless about what's going on with women. So I will acknowledge that if the female characters benefit at least the consultation of female writers. I just have a problem with linking quality to identity automatically. Just my little soapbox there. That being said, it's great that this many women are involved in this movie, especially for something with as much spectacle and as much potential eyeballs as a superhero film. So that is also very good. That being said, I have no interest in this film. Again, I like Margo Robbie's fine as Harley Quinn, but it's just the way they decided to go and the way that they sort of portrayed the character. I'm just not sure it's the right vision. At the same time, what's clear now with the exit of Henry Cavill and then everything that Matt Reeves and Ben Affleck have been saying about the Batman, or I guess not Ben Affleck anymore, is that DC is essentially abandoning its shared universe. They've decided that they apparently can't catch up to Marvel or outdo Marvel, so they are going to quit while they're ahead and just go, you know what? We're going to attract higher talent to star and direct in these things because they don't have to commit away from other projects that could win them Oscars, like Scorsese and Joaquin Phoenix and Will Smith, Margo Robbie. Like you can get talent who don't have to sign up to be part of like a decade-long project and be retained for multiple films, stay in ridiculously good shape. I get the appeal of doing one-off movies, and it's bold in a way for Warner Brothers and DC to decide that in a world where the shared universe is a thing and arguably the preferred method of digesting intellectual properties, especially based on comic books, which are episodic in nature, serial in nature, you could say it's bold of them to abandon the shared universe continuity idea. They're just going to go, we're going the other way. On the other hand, it would be bold if they had chosen that from the beginning, but they tried the shared universe. They're only abandoning it because they sucked at it so hard that they were forced to basically go, okay, well, yeah, you know what? We're just going to quit. That's like quitting dodgeball after you were picked last. Okay, fine, quit. Like, you were picked last for a reason. Go ahead and quit. Okay, fine. That being said, if you give them the benefit of the doubt, they're doing what they can with what they have. And I can't really fault them for that. I get it. Yeah, I do. I get it. Like this is the hand they were dealt. This is what's going on with them. And this is just how they're forced to move forward. So they're making the best of it, and they might actually get some good films out of it. Whether or not eventually though, people are going to want some sort of Joker Batman. Now, is it going to be, they're making 2 different Joker movies with 2 different Joker actors. It just kind of is a mess. And while I normally do say, to an extent, recasting people, you can view it as, oh, it's sort of like when a different artist draws the Joker. Like, it just looks different, but it's the same character, but it just looks different, talks different, maybe they move different. So you could apply that sort of loose justification to just the constant recasting of people playing these roles. But that gets confusing to an audience after a while. They want to remember and especially with Marvel movies and Star Wars, all this other stuff, they're conditioned to associate the character with the actor playing them. That's just part of watching movies. You associate actors with characters. That's just what happens. And eventually they're going to catch on. And I don't know how that's going to play out for DC. So hopefully they get some good films cranked out in the meantime, so by the time that happens, maybe people don't care. Maybe they end up being better than Marvel. I doubt it, but it's possible they could be better than Marvel. And people go, I mean, look, I saw that picture. This picture. Let me show you this picture of Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. First, they released, this plain one of him, without the makeup, where he just looks creepy enough in that picture. And then and that's him in the makeup. So I initially thought that was hokey, but the more I look at it, I go, looks pretty good actually. And the makeup is reminiscent of John Wayne Gacy, who, if you didn't know him, was a serial killer who dressed up like a clown. Big fat guy in the 70s, killed kids, and among many other horrible things. And that was essentially the makeup of Pogo the Clown, which was his, clown persona. Scary shit. So that certainly is, unsettling. It looks a good bit like the Heath Ledger Joker in a way, with the slicked back, the green hair and everything. So, what can I say? But what I will say is I've said recently and previously on this podcast that Joaquin Phoenix is a tremendous actor. So as much as I am fundamentally against a solo Joker film, a character who I feel like shouldn't be explored in backstory, in terms of sheer performance and screen presence, Joaquin Phoenix is a terrific choice to play the clown prince of crime. I just hope they don't bungle it. I mean, again, I don't want to know that much about the Joker. I don't care. But it seems like they want you to separate your feelings about this character and other performances and just treat these as basically little pocket universes, which is what's going to end up happening is you're just going to sort of be conditioned to treat the DC films in a pocket universe. But again, coexisting in a cinemascape where there are shared universes everywhere else except DC, it's just a big reminder that they had to do this. This was not plan A creatively for them to do these little one-off films with no continuity. So don't let that fool you. Just saying, don't let it fool you. Another thing real quick to mention. By the way, I don't have the copy in front of me. Maybe I can pull this off real quick while we're talking about it, while I'm thinking about it. Just because I know that we need to address this, and I left the hard copy in the car. We need to talk about Letterboxd. I gotta tell you all about Letterboxd because I don't think I've mentioned Letterboxd yet, and I really should mention Letterboxd. It's a great thing. By the way, this episode of the HooperCast is brought to you by Letterboxd. Right now, listeners of our show have the chance to win a free 1-year pro account upgrade on Letterboxd. For those of you who do not know, Letterboxd is a social network for film lovers that allows you to track, rate, and review the films you watch. You can follow other members to get recommendations. You can publish lists of films like your top 10 for the year and lots more. Letterboxd is free to use. There is no subscription fee, but a pro account will provide you with annual features such as a customized summary of your past year's viewing. If you already have a pro account, then you get the year extension free. If you want to enter, all you have to do is listen to our show and we will read the code word at random, then send us an email at hoopercast@gmail.com, enter the code word in the subject line, and make sure to include your Letterboxd username in the email so that we know which account to reward. The winner will be selected during the last show of each month, which would, well, maybe it's this show, maybe it's not. I got to be honest, no one's emailed in, okay? So there's no winner this month. You can also follow our show on Letterboxd. Just search HooperCast. That's letterboxd.com, letterboxd.com, letterboxd.com. The code phrase for September, the final code phrase for September is "that's okay." Except it's not. I wish you had sent something in. Just something. I don't know why you didn't. I don't know what the hell your problem is. Next story. Final story of the night. Just wanted to mention this real quick. Just from a social standpoint. Oh, whoops. Well, I'm covering this up. This is on the AV Club by Sam Barsanti. Hollywood has forgiven Mel Gibson, so now he's directing a Wild Bunch remake. Okay, so it's a really biased article against Mel Gibson, but the facts of the article are this. Gibson is set to write and direct a remake of the old Sam Peckinpah film, The Wild Bunch. The original is a Western about a group of outlaws looking for one last Wild West score before retiring from the shoot-'em-up game forever. But it's unclear if it's going to be a straight remake or some kind of new interpretation, just sort of, piggybacking on the IP. So there's that. Some people are pissed about this. Sarah Silverman is very pissed about this. Could have something to do with the fact that Mel Gibson said a lot of insensitive things about about people of the Jewish faith a few years ago during an arrest. Let's see. It's talking about the gig. So New York Magazine writer Yashar Ali was even more blunt. Quote, Mel Gibson admitted to domestic violence, repeatedly used racial epithets on tape, and has a history of making anti-Semitic statements. Meanwhile, there are a long list of women in entertainment who don't have careers anymore simply because they were labeled difficult by men. This is true. Gibson is set to executive produce his Wild Bunch remake and write the screenplay with Brian Bagby after being blacklisted in Hollywood for nearly a decade because of his anti-Semitic remarks. Gibson has slowly been making a comeback as both an actor and director. His 2016 World War II drama Hacksaw Ridge earned him Oscar nominations for Best Picture and Best Director, while as an actor he's appeared in studio comedies like Daddy's Home 2. The Wild Bunch will be Gibson's first directorial effort since Ridge. IndieWire has reached out to Warner Brothers for comment. I liked Hacksaw Ridge a lot. So Sarah Silverman is upset. Yashar Ali, as we mentioned, is upset. Melissa Silverstein has a problem with Mel Gibson and Brett Kavanaugh. Let's see. Jessica Ellis says, people keep telling me how hard it is to get a Western made, but maybe it's just because I haven't beaten up anyone yet. Haha. If Mel Gibson was the only surgeon on the planet who could save people from a deadly disease, sure, fine, he can have a second chance. There are about 50,000 people, women, people of color, domestic violence victims, who can make a good movie. We do not need his art. I have a problem with that statement. We do not need his art. Because, okay, so again, alleged domestic abuse. I don't know. I don't think it seems pretty clear that it's not, it's not been proven or corroborated whether or not he abused his longtime wife or Oksana. I forgot her name. It's in here somewhere. But the woman I believe he was married to her at the time too, and they have children together. I know that he said I know that he has here's the only thing that's clear to me about Mel Gibson, and I'm sorry, I might catch some flack from this, or maybe you guys don't agree with me here. I'll just say this. The only thing that is clear to me when it comes to Mel Gibson's behavior, it's really not clear to me that he's racist. What is clear to me, I'm not saying it's unclear, like, oh, he's definitely not racist. I don't know the guy. I don't know if he's a racist or not. I couldn't tell you. But I do, for what is evident by his words and actions is he has a bad habit of drinking too much and then saying insensitive things. I can tell you this. If I ever get real, like, if my wife and I are ever in like a heated argument, I can tell you that I'm guilty of saying things to her specifically because they're hurtful. I can't be the only person in the world who does this. I can be spiteful. That's one of my flaws. Lots of people I know, can be, or have similar character defects. But I know it's not a rare thing to intentionally try to make the other person feel bad if you're having an altercation. So from where I'm sitting, it's possible that Mel Gibson gets drunk and says dumb things and hurtful things to the wrong people. It doesn't make it right. And it doesn't make it, it doesn't just make it go away, and he shouldn't be let off the hook for that. I just don't know if that quite correlates to indisputable racism. So that's point number one. Point number two, we do not need his art. That is not for you to decide, Jessica Ellis. We do not need his art. You don't have to watch his art. You may not need his art. I don't need I don't need anyone's art for that matter, but I enjoy people's art. Mel Gibson's art seems to me to be completely separated from his private life. Just pointing that out. Hacksaw Ridge and Apocalypto for that matter, are both terrific films, well-directed stories that I was gripped by and emotionally invested in. And that's not just writing and performances. That is a director at work. Gibson, I've always thought is dynamic as an actor on screen. I think he's absolutely captivating on screen and has been for decades. And I think as a director, he's immensely talented. And he was blacklisted for a long time. And, fine, rightly so. If you're going to, free speech, if you're going to say shitty things to cops about the Jews and how they start they're responsible for all the wars of, civilization, or you're going to say sexually inappropriate things to a cop, or you're going to say racially, insensitive things to your Russian girlfriend, wife, among other things, and allegedly like, oh, maybe he did domestically, maybe there's some of that. So there's all that. If that's all gonna be out in the open and you're a public figure, people have the right to judge you. They just do. That's their right. So people didn't associate with him for a long time. Fine. That's what he deserved. Collectively we decided that he was bad news and we didn't want to be around him. I think considering he didn't commit any, crimes with his hate, I guess, I don't know. I think it was Robert Downey Jr. who was the one of the biggest names recently. This was like 7 or 8 years ago. Mel Gibson presented Downey with an award at one point, and the two of them really became friends in the 80s, especially after Robert was arrested and all the substance problems he had, and he was coming out of rehab. Mel Gibson, and he says this, you can find this article anywhere, but Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, Sherlock Holmes, Robert Downey Jr. said, Mel was the first to extend his hand to me and say, welcome to the club. You've got some issues. Let's do some work on ourselves, and do what he referred to as hugging the cactus, which was saying you need to accept the things about yourself that are unlikable. You need to accept them so that you can improve on them. I'm not trying to false equate Mel Gibson's character defects to anyone else's. Although, again, I will just point out that Roman Polanski actually raped an underage girl several times in several ways, to the point where he can't come back to the United States or he'll be arrested, on felony charges. Okay. He got a standing ovation at the Oscars when he won. So just going to point that out. I'm always going to point that out because Hollywood is hypocritical. And in the grand scheme of crimes against your fellow man, Mel Gibson's are not that bad, especially when you look at it through the lens of Roman Polanski. Okay. That's just a fact. You can't debate me on this. There is no way you can make the argument that Mel Gibson is even the same or definitely not worse than Roman Polanski. Okay? You can't. It is not the same. All right? But regardless, even with the parts of him that are not good, there's the whole hugging the cactus mentality. Okay? I'm not saying Mel Gibson deserves your dollars in the theater. That's up to you. I'm saying that I like his films, and I'm not liking his films in spite of other things I should condemn. Okay? I haven't heard the guy, and there's been no news of the guy for several years saying or doing anything disreputable to make me believe that, okay, stuff is still wrong with him. Okay? I've heard enough from him in recent years to where I've decided, at least, whatever's going on with him is in the past. I'm not even interested in this film, okay? But I think when I just have a real problem with we do not need his art. Fine, that is up to you. But if you're going to, stand up for art and free expression of art, then everyone gets a chance to make their art. Okay? And if a studio wants to give him money to direct something, that should be allowed. Okay? Let's wait and see the film. We don't need his art. I didn't need Suicide Squad, but I still watched it. David Ayer had a right to make the film as the person hired to make the film. I don't like that phrase, we do not need his art. I just think that's just a dangerous subjective whatever. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Again, maybe I'm making a ton of enemies here. Maybe, the 6 or 7 average viewers of these videos all just got in the same van and left. I don't go shit. Go. Seriously, I don't need you. This show is for me. And it'll be for me until I'm the only one listening. But again, like I think it's important to point out that that's just a dangerous thing to say. We don't need his art. Tisk, for sure. Yeah. Let's oh, do I not? Can I not? Oh, you know what? Give me just a minute, people. Things are crazy right now. Things are nuts. Anyways, that's gonna be it for the HooperCast. Subscribe to the show on YouTube. Check us out on iTunes. And again, I just wanted to point out a little bit of I don't know. I just think Hollywood's very hypocritical. I really think they are. I don't want to go too much about it. I know there's people out there who work in Los Angeles who I have personal disagreements with, but I love their work. It's easy to hate Mel Gibson. It's really easy. And, I can't help sometimes but jump in when I feel like people are just being persecuted for being who they are and what they've always been associated with, or what they've been recently associated with for a long time, And again, I just think, like, why isn't anyone talking about Roman Polanski? Why can't we talk about Roman Polanski and what he did? So, or Woody Allen, how creepy that guy is. Come on. But he writes funny movies, so we can let him go. I don't know. I just think it's a little hypocritical. See you guys next week. I said I wasn't going to do an episode this week, but I had to talk about Transformers, which is so good. So good. All right. See y'all next week, maybe. I don't know. Fuck off. Bye.